Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Creative Critique. The new release cinematic film that I saw this week was the new disaster film that's out there to see, and that is of course San Andreas. And it stars Mr. Dwayne Johnson. And it's with Mr. Dwayne Johnson that I will begin my review of this film. Because I think with this film he's actually proving that he can hold a film up to scrutiny. And I mean, when I say up to scrutiny, I mean get people coming to see a film. That is a big budgeted film. So he's doing a good job there. He has appeal. I really enjoy watching him. He's quite a fun actor to watch. He's quite humorous. It's fair to say he's probably not the most brilliant actor in the world, but he brings something that not many others do. He has a different type of style, possibly. Without me being able to put my finger on exactly what that style is, but there's something there that's appealing about him as an actor. And like I said, it's been proved by the fact that he's been able to tentpole this film and bring audiences in. So he's done a good job, in my opinion, with this film. We will now go on to the actual film itself. And the thing is with disaster films is they are so focused on effects. The often criticism that is labelled upon them is that not enough care and attention is given to characterization, script writing, dialogue, whatever you want to lump in there as well. And it's truly fair to say that the same thing can be said about this film, unfortunately. I will start with the positives. These special effects are outstanding. They are truly outstanding. And in one particular moment where Dwayne Johnson is with his former partner and they're on a boat and they are going up, they're on like a speedboat and there's a tsunami coming at them. There's a tsunami wave coming at them and they've got to try and reach the tip of the crest of the wave before it turns over. And that was truly exhilarating to watch in the cinema. That was extremely well done, and you did feel the power of that moment. So that's a very well done set piece. There's numerous other set pieces in the film, of course, that were extremely delicately and well done effect wise. That is what is good about the film. It is big on spectacle, but it's something that we have seen before, so it's not something that's we're lacking, if you will. The thing we are lacking is a film of that type having characterization and being able to care about these characters in this sort of film. I'm going to cite 2012, and the reason why I'm going to cite 2012, the film, is because there's a very similar character art with that you can level up Dwayne Johnson's character in this film and his ex-wife in this film to 2012 with John Cusack's character and his ex-wife in that film. I mean, why does it always have to be about an ex-husband, an ex-father coming to the rescue of his ex-wife and showing that he's the better man and the better husband than the now new douchey husband? The douchebag husband, who in this film is played by Ewan Grufford, the British actor. It's so unfortunate that us Brits always get the douchebag husband role, but yeah. So that characterization is very disappointing. Very disappointing. It's something I was like, not again, please, not again. So yeah, that's slightly annoying and disappointing. Like I said before, there's no doubt that Dwayne Johnson is very good in that role of the hero husband and hero father, because just look at the man. He's everything you'd wanted in your hero father or hero husband. So he does that role, but it's just something I've seen before, and I don't need to see again, really, to be honest. But it's been done. He does it again here, and it's all right. But it's disappointing, that character arc. So yeah, like I said, this is the main problem with the film is the characterization. I want to care about these characters. To be fair with the film, his character, Dwayne Johnson's role is he's a search and rescue guy. So that's why he's obviously sort of perfect for this sort of film, and his character is sort of perfect for this sort of film. And like I say, he throws you straight into the action straight away. So there's no messing about with this film. You were into the action straight away. The events of the film take place quite quickly. Paul Giamatti is the scientist who is about to predict this sort of event, and he's very entertaining. Paul Giamatti, he's one of those sort of, I've said this before about many actors, but he's one of those sort of actors that I can probably watch in any sort of role, and he can have some sort of ability or trait that will be interesting in his character in the film that is very entertaining to watch. So I do like Paul Giamatti in this film. He's quite entertaining, does what he can with the role he's given. Yes. So like I said, yeah, you were thrown straight into the action straight away. There's no messing about. Whereas with something like 2012, there was a lot of pondering around, in my opinion, and that film was way too long. I think it was around 2 hours, 40 minutes, and this film you are just under 2 hours, and it knows its limits as a film. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It knows it's a ridiculous film in a way. So, by that sort of factor of itself, it knows when to quit. So yeah, that's another positive actually, probably. It knows when to quit. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say really about the film, because it's a sort of film I wouldn't advise people to pay to go and watch, but it's a sort of film, if you're like me and do have some sort of cinema pass where you can go see the main films, it can be an entertaining film if you see it for that. And it's probably an alright film, late night entertainment, something like that, but it's not the sort of film I'll go back and again and watch, because I've seen disaster films done better. They've certainly done worse, no doubt about that, but it's not the sort of film I will go back again and watch. So, yeah, don't really know what else to say about the film, really. Oh wait, one final thing is, why the hell was Kylie Minogue in this film? Because she's billed as like one of the main actors or actresses, and she is in it, and I mean, she's in it for like probably 2 lines of dialogue, and maybe at the most 3-4 minutes of screen time of this just under 2-hour film. Why is Kylie Minogue in this film? That's just a little bit annoying, annoyed me, but yeah, there we go. San Andreas, it's fun to a point, and I must very much comment upon the final scene of the film. You know what? I'm going to spoil it, because it is so ridiculous the way this film ends. Obviously, with these big disaster films, you have a final scene where they're looking over all the damage and so forth and what's going on after the event has now ended. And one character will say to like the hero lead character, in this case it's Dwayne Johnson's daughter in this film, played by Alexandra Daddario. And she says to him, "So what do we do now?" No, that's not an uncommon line, is it? And he says the laughable and so repeatable line, "We'll rebuild." And he says this as the American flag is unraveling off a bridge, and oh my word, I just could not hold back with my laughter in the cinema, and I heard somebody else in the cinema also suddenly just break out into laughter upon seeing and hearing that moment, and it was so entertaining. I was laughing for about 30 to 40 seconds through the credits. So yeah, I have to spoil that because it was so entertainingly bad. But there we go. Yeah, San Andreas. It's entertaining to a point. It's completely up to you if it's your sort of film, if you want to go watch it, but it's not my sort of film to go and re-watch again. Yeah, San Andreas. And my word, are we going to go to a completely different avenue of film right now with my classic film of the week, and the classic film is Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. You really couldn't be more different, really, could you, from San Andreas in ability of acting, directing, style, tempo of the. Oh my word! There's so much going on here. Well, I think we all know the story of Psycho. It's such an infamous film. So, what is there really left to talk about? You just got to repeat really what's been said beforehand. The skill of Hitchcock as a director, and in particular with this film, is just outstanding. And the reason why he's so excited. His ability to listen to people around him also. And there's no better example of that with... Oh, I'm going to be really annoyed with myself now. So I just remembered the man's name. The guy who scored the film, which was Bernard Herrmann. And we all know, I think we all know the story that Hitchcock was originally going to stage that shower scene silent. But Bernard Herrmann took it upon himself to, of course, score every part of the film and score that shower scene also. And upon hearing it, Hitchcock went, I am completely wrong. We are going to use this score for this film as it is so perfect. And that is the sign of a fantastic director, knowing when, not only when he's right, but when he is wrong. And by him being wrong, he ended up being so right. In some sort of weird way. But yes, we all know the story. Janet Leigh is a clerk who works, I think she works at a bank, doesn't she? And a businessman comes in to pay for a house, I believe it is, and wants to pay with cash, so she is instructed to take this money to the bank. She, of course, doesn't take it to the bank and makes off with this money. And she absconds from town, and through her own paranoia and other things, she pulls over into a motel. And yes, the rest is kind of history, really, isn't it? Just in case there's a couple of people out there who have not seen the film, I'm not going to say exactly what happens. But the rest of the film plays out brilliantly. And Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates. Well, is there a more iconic, psychotic character you've ever met before in your life? I've kind of just spoiled a little bit, I suppose, there, by me saying that, but yeah. His portrayal is iconic. And it must also be commented upon that obviously this is regarded as a horror film, although a lot of the film plays out more of like a thriller, which is more in the type of Hitchcock's films before this film. It went a little bit towards another horror film after this, obviously with the birds, but his ability as a thriller filmmaker was completely... And you know what, that's probably part of why the film was successful, because it went exactly the way you thought a Hitchcock film was going to go and totally pulled the rug from underneath your feet as you were watching it. So yeah, it's thrilling. There's little bits of it I say are very funny. I'm not sure whether they're intentionally meant to be funny, but I just found them really amusing, little bits of it. Particularly involving, obviously, Perkins' character. But yeah. And the horror moment, the score is just, well, I've said it before, it's iconic. And it's the go-to film. If someone said to you, do a horror film score, you'd go, like that's a terrible impression of it, but you would do that. You would do that score. And what is a bigger compliment than saying it is the go-to horror score and the go-to horror film when someone says name a scary movie or name a horror film piece of music or name a horror icon or an actually iconic horror killer, or yeah, I mean, the film is brilliantly paced, the film is brilliantly scored, the acting's great. The acting's really great because you are led up a garden path by these characters and actors, because even when you think, no, I can't really say it because it spoils the film, but even when you think possibly maybe this is some sort of scam or something like that, and there's a no, I can't say because it spoils the film. So I apologise about this because I'm just suddenly talking and babbling about nothing. But yeah, what is left to say other than the final scene of that film is just brilliantly done. I mean, the fade out of the voice and that with this character's face and this other face superimposed on this person's face is just iconic. I keep saying iconic, I can't help it, sorry about this. But yeah, Psycho. I mean, really, I don't think I've ever been this enthused about a film. No, I probably have, but in terms of talking about it as an absolute classic film, because it is every definition of the world, the word in this world, and yeah, every person who is a film fan, every person who just watches films should watch Psycho, because it is part of the horror web. It's part of film's history, and you've just got to watch films that have made the industry, and this is one of those films that's made the industry. So yeah, that is all I'm going to say now about Psycho. So yeah, that was my classic film of the week, which was Psycho, the brilliant Hitchcock film. Of course, my theatrically released film of the week was San Andreas, which starred. And I'll finish with a little line which I think was I came up with, and I've probably been mentioned many times, as something along the lines of Dwayne Johnson, the only rock unmovable by an earthquake. I should have used it earlier in my San Andreas review, but I had to get it in there somewhere. So yeah, that was San Andreas, my cinematic release film of the week, and Psycho, my absolute classic film of the week. So there we go. I thank you again for watching. If you have, please subscribe to me if you enjoy what I've had to say or what you've seen, and I hope to see you again next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.